Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 1 of Eternal Darkness. I am Goramoth and for once I'm not joined by anyone. No, I am on my own. So let's just sit back and watch the intro cutscene. Yes, that was the intro cutscene, and yes, this is Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. This is a third-person action horror game, I guess you'd say. It was in development for the N64 originally, but it got pushed back so much it ended up on the Gamecube. It was developed by Canadian developer Silicon Knights, and it was actually published by Nintendo, which is kind of interesting because this is the first ever game that was rated M that was actually published by Nintendo. All the previous ones were published by other people, like the third-party developers, so it's definitely interesting. So yeah, we're just going to jump straight into it. This is quite frankly one of my favourite games from the GameCube days. I was a massive Nintendo kid, and I absolutely love this game.
Flesh, bone, bound together with the oddest magical incantation. This wretched book is where it all began so long ago. Before time, before humanity. I am Dr. Edward Roivas. I am a clinical psychologist. I am also dead. This is not my story, nor even the story of the Roivas family. It is the story of humanity. Like it or not, believe it or not, as you will. Your perceptions will not change reality, but simply color it. Humanity has been on the edge of extinction for 2 millennia, ignorant of so much and dependent on so few. The Guardians grow restless, their time once again near. Whether by fate or misfortune, my family has crossed their path, and they didn't take kindly to it. Their attention turns to my granddaughter, for she is the last of my line, and the last hope for humanity.
Alright, here we go. Talk about throwing us in the deep end. So, I just want to make a quick apology for stuff like the green tinge you just saw. I'm running this on an emulator because, unfortunately, I don't have a way to directly capture from my GameCube. Just gonna fight these guys off and hopefully live, I guess. Oh, wait. And we're out of ammo. Yep.
Remember me, Alex?
Hello?
Miss Alexandra Roivas?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Inspector LaGrasse of the Rhode Island Police. I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's been an accident with your grandfather.
I'll be on the next flight out.
Ah, Miss Roivas. I'm pleased to meet you. I trust you had a pleasant trip?
Yes, I suppose so, considering.
Yes, my condolences. This is most unpleasant. It's a shame we couldn't meet under brighter circumstances.
Yes, it is. Can we get this over with, please?
Of course. This way. But I must warn you, it's not a pleasant sight. I'm afraid there's not much to see. Miss Roivas, is that your grandfather, Edward?
Yes, it's him. He's wearing our family ring. I don't understand. Why are you showing me this? Can't you check dental records or something? What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. It's my job, lady. You're the only living relative, and no, we can't check dental records. There's no head. Now, none of this makes sense. There's no sign of intrusion, and there was certainly a lot of force used here. I have never seen anything like this in my 20 years on the force. We have no evidence except for the body, and what's left doesn't say much. Ugh, we don't have a single clue.
Well, you better find out who did this. I'm not leaving Rhode Island until you do. There must be some clue in this old mansion revealing what happened. I want answers.
So do I. I wish I had some.
Shocked by her grandfather's mysterious death and frustrated at the incompetence of the local police, Alex vows to uncover the truth. She decides to search the mansion and the place where Edward conducted his research. If there was a tie to his past, and possibly a tie to his murderer, it would be here. Yes, so here we are. Like I said in the intro, this is my first solo Let's Play. It's all live com, no post, and we're going to start off by checking out this clock, which incidentally is set to 3:33, just like the clock in the intro cutscene. A beautiful carriage clock. The hands appear to be stuck, yet the clock continues to tick, with the time permanently set to 3:33. There is a key in the back of the clock, presumably for winding. Should Alex look at the key? Yes. Alex picks up the desk clock, pulls the key from it. However, there's something odd about the key. It isn't for winding at all. It looks like a dresser key. And so we got our first item. I'm just going to head this way. We don't actually need to go this way yet, but it's something interesting I kind of want to show people. This game drops a lot of subtle hints. Like, if we check this out on the mantle, we can see that the symbols are arranged in a specific way. This is particularly useful information that the game constantly sort of pokes and prods you at, telling you how these symbols work, and we'll come to learn what they mean as we go on. So this illustration features a collection of strange line designs related to each other in a cyclical manner. There appears to be some significance to it, but it isn't particularly evident. So we're going to try and head upstairs because we do actually have the key to the second floor. You start with it in your inventory. Just going to quickly skip through this tutorial section. Yeah, we have the second floor key. Oops. There we go. And unfortunately the key breaks. So now we have a broken second floor key. Lovely. Oh well, I guess we can't go that way yet, so we'll head this way. And this is pretty much the room from the intro cutscene. So our grandfather lay dead right here. Lovely. Hey, another clock. This looming grandfather clock seems to stand ominously in the corner, gazing on this empty room with almost a pariachial air. Sorry, I'm not great at pronunciation. So I can adjust the clock hands. You know what time we're going to set it to? 3:33. And we get a lovely hidden passageway. So let's head through here. So in here, this is where we discover the real, looked at the wrong thing there. Oh, lovely. So, a diabolical drawing of a stack of human bodies, each one cemented into place. What twisted psyche could have executed this drawing? Though disturbing, it is meticulously rendered down to the subtlest detail, the precise anatomy of a fractured bones and the convolutions of spines and ribs in tune into a mesmerizing sight. Lovely. That's not what I wanted to look at, though. I wanted to look at the sword. Which, an ancient Roman weapon, a gladius, is on display above the fireplace mantle. Another token of eclectic junk. So we're going to grab that, which will be useful later. But this, right here, is the Tome of Eternal Darkness. And this, after we check this out, will be the main mechanic of the game, as you're about to see. So let's read it.
I had no knowledge of what was to come, nor did I care. How the knowledge changed me, it will also change you. As you read this, you will come to learn fear as I have. You too will come to understand, or you will perish. To think that once I could not see beyond the veil of our reality. To see those who dwell behind. My life now has purpose, for I have learned the frailty of flesh and bone. I was once a fool. Where is quies candamest? Where is conservandi? Facusatis aquae sumat, et animus eorum conferma. Pupna huis, dia sit modo prima multarum, si inceptum conficiamus.
Quam primum, Centurio Augustus. I would like to compliment you once more on your battle tactics. Our enemies did not have a chance. Do you believe that it really exists, Centurion?
I do not doubt our Emperor's beliefs, or his orders. But if we are to retrieve the artifact, then we must be strong and patient.
Come to us, pious Augustus.
Alright, so now I can quickly explain the main mechanic of the game. So we read from the Tome of Eternal Darkness, and that takes us back into the history of, the Ancients and the Eternal Darkness itself, which means we control various people throughout history. And that's pretty much how this game works. You have these sort of intermittent periods where you control Alex, the main character, as she explores trying to work out what happened to her grandfather. But then when she finds new chapter pages, she reads from them, and we get to see how the story has developed from ancient times. Because it's all one story, and that's what I love about this game. It's just the way you know, it's not just a simple thing of everything happened around Alex and like it's only that little bit of history. We get to see the whole development of the story over eons. It's fantastic. So a ladder leads into the dank heart of the labyrinth. Danger lurks beneath, yet Pius's courageous resolve does not buckle. Should Pius climb down the ladder? Yes, we shall. Shiny thing, I want it. And our first enemy. So these guys are like the weakest enemies in the game. They are servants of the ancient named Mantarok, who we'll meet later. And they're incredibly weak. Ambushed. I see, like, there is a targeting system in this game, which is pretty good. You can target someone and then just aim at different body parts. It works really nicely. You see, I took the heads off all of them as well, which is very useful because then they can't see. So now they're on the ground, we get a prompt to finish them, which for Pius doesn't do anything. We just finish them, they die and disappear. But we can just leave them scoring on the ground if we want. The finish mechanic comes into play when we get Sanity, which is another mechanic in this game, but Pius doesn't actually have this mechanic. So we can just ignore it for now. And we're going to take the strange granite block. So another thing to mention, there are 4 ancients, Mantarok being one of them. The others we will meet soon enough. They're named Ulioth, Chakurda. Sorry, one second. Let's get rid of these guys first and then I'll talk about it. So yes, Ulioth, Zelatath, and Chaturga. Sorry, I'm pretty terrible with pronunciations like this. I'll grab another granite block. This one with a green symbol on. People may have noticed that these symbols are actually corresponding to the symbols on the picture I showed you back in the mansion. And you don't have to target enemies like this, you can just like wail on them like that. Which can be effective, but I like taking off the heads, because it's fun. Take these guys down. You notice the body like disappeared, because if they stay on the ground long enough, they do disappear on their own. You don't necessarily have to finish them. Oops, wrong button. Strange granite block again. That's our third. Him. So yeah, as first level, it's not particularly difficult, as expected, to be honest. But I do love the atmosphere. I feel with the music and, you know, the whispering and stuff, it's fantastically atmospheric. Alright, let's deal with these guys. And then, to be honest, looking at the walls, you can probably guess what I have to do. Those guys and grab our 4th granite block. So we have to put the blocks in the wall. So let's start with this one. This one incidentally is the symbol of Mantarok. So we'll put that one in first. The order here doesn't matter at all. You can do them in any order. This is the symbol of Zelatath. Red is the symbol of Chaturga. And finally, blue is the symbol of Ulioth. And that unlocks the door for us, so we can progress. So this bit's kind of neat. One one sec, yeah. Pius, you must prove your worth by destroying this statue. Basically, this is a tutorial showing you how to do the, like, aiming at the different bodies, which I've been doing. Body parts, so I can aim at the different parts. But interestingly enough, it's a statue of himself. He has to kill himself to prove his worth. I just thought that was nice and creepy, and definitely, it's a bit of foreshadowing. More stones and Manta Rock. Oh, have you noticed that? Like, enemies can actually hit each other. Like, that skeleton just hit the other one. Which is pretty useful, to be honest, especially if you take their heads off, because then they can't see. And they can actually just, you know, kill each other. It's pretty funny. A button attached to a small pylon softly illuminates the room. A bizarre energy seems to radiate from it. Should Pius push the button? Of course we shall. Step onto this. This seems like an amazingly smart idea. Alright. And welcome to the housing of the artifacts. These are the artifacts that they were talking about in the intro cutscene of this level. And what's kind of interesting about this, each one of these artifacts belongs to one of the ancients. So we have the red, so that's Chaturga. We have blue, which is Ulyaoth. And we have green, which is Xel'lotath. But what's kind of interesting about this is picking one of these artifacts essentially slightly changes the game. Depending on whose artifact you choose or to pick up now, it tells you which is going to be the main enemy of this game, of this playthrough. And it also is the difficulty. Green, which is, of course, Xel'lotath, is... Sorry, yeah, green, which is Xel'lotath, is the easy difficulty. Whereas blue, Ulyaoth, is medium. And Chaturga, red, is hard. So we're just going to go with medium. I just think that's kind of neat. Like, there isn't just a... It's not a menu, it's just an in-game choice. I think that's really cool. So I'm going to grab this.
Eons have passed since then, and I have learned much. All at once, I understood. The forces of the multiverse all made sense under the transcending power of Ulyaoth. No mountain too high, no city too far. Face me, and you shall surely perish.
And that pretty much concludes episode 1 of Eternal Darkness. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed this episode, please remember to like, favorite, subscribe, anything you fancy doing. It's great for me, it helps us out. And hopefully you'll come back for episode 2. Catch you guys later.